keep us apart.
Hi guys, I wasn't going to stream, but here I am. Jimmy Dore is on, and I don't know if you like him or not, but I think he's pretty funny.
Waiting for the show this long is
so
frustrating.
What I would be doing tonight
Dante, listen,
would be sitting here in a corner hunting and listening to
peeps.
Jimmy Dore.
I get it, but that's just how it rolls, you know.
Don't always agree with everything he says, but it's entertaining. I think they're really funny.
You know, or what you're left with is we don't do a show.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm
we
doing.
start a little late and we go a little
I'm going to
long.
pause Steph real quick. I started looking through these rolls and they're just absolutely beautiful. So I thought I would, I would just go and stream. I don't know why that happened. Oh, I'm just putting Jimmy on.
Janice, I did it again.
And
okay.
I'm going to assume everything is good.
So the political persecution and prosecution of former President Donald Trump is in full swing. And they just came to
I just want to see something
corrupt
real quick.
judge,
Make sure I'm
corrupt
live.
attorney general, or a prosecutor. Is she the attorney general, Letitia James?
She's a prosecutor.
She's just a prosecutor.
What am I doing?
And
that creepy ass judge.
And they prosecuted him for they say he inflated the value of a property he owned so he could get a bank loan.
Okay, I just wanted to see
this real quick. So this is like the
standard. It's like
it's
called capitalism.
It's called capitalism. If I'm trying to sell a car, I put the price high and then we negotiate down. Just like so, what Trump did was he put the price high, and the bank came in and they negotiated him down, and they came to an agreement. He got the loan. He paid the loan back to the bank.
They made a healthy profit.
The bank made a healthy profit.
Definitely looking for a double.
There's no
he didn't exaggerate even. If you look up the prices of the
but the bank even said they would go back. They would like to do business with him again.
Yeah.
So this is a
really
victimless
nice
crime. It's not even a crime.
See these that well.
And you got a corrupt judge and a corrupt prosecutor. This is what I thought they did in banana republics, but United States is a banana republic since they elected Donald Trump, a guy who didn't want to do foreign wars.
Anyways, sorry.
That's all it took.
Here we go.
And you're saying that I have to vote for his political enemy to save democracy? Democracy's out the window.
I don't know what
the New York Post
is
saying, it says them elites shouldn't be laughing at Trump's civil trial outcome.
It's all
they
garbage.
just
Look
made
at
him
that
a
at
political martyr. What do you mean just?
There you go, Jess.
The two fuck bullshit impeachments did that, plus that crazy lady civil trial and Russiagate. He's been a martyr for a while.
This.
I never even liked him on any level, and now I think he's funny because you.
That's right.
Him so much.
That's right.
You know who agrees with me? Jamie.
So guys, I'm really looking for so when I start getting nice coins like this, I spend a lot more time looking for double dies, stuff like that. So even if it's not a known variety, or if I don't know other variety, like I'm looking at everything on a coin like this
to punish him and ignore all other crimes.
Keeping that coin.
Judge Arthur Engoron found him guilty before anyone even said it was guilty before they even started the trial.
Jesus, that judge looks like the punishment if you're bad at Christmas in some Norwegian countries.
Yes.
He shows up.
It was all over, but the punishment, a $355 million fine and a 3-year ban from running a business in New York. Wow. So here's so now business people, because what they're accusing Trump of doing is called normal business.
Right.
And so now they're prosecuting Trump for doing normal real estate business. So now most people are afraid that if they run afoul of the establishment in New York, they will also be used in they'll corrupt the justice system to make them criminal. I've been telling people this. I tried to explain it to numbskull Cornel West when he was on my show, but he
knows about business.
But he's too big of an ivory tower hypocrite and pussy. I'll just say
a guy who lives on grants.
A guy who lives right.
Jimmy kind of calls it
to admit what was going on right in front of his face. Cornel West doesn't have the stones of a YouTuber to tell the truth about that. Even if it's happening to your political enemy, it would happen to Cornel West if he ever actually did oppose the establishment in any meaningful way. They would criminalize him too. But he knows he'll never do that,
kind of like
which is why he pretended he didn't see what was happening. So this, again, I didn't vote for Trump. I'm not going to vote for Trump. But I see what's happening. They would do this to Bernie Sanders if he stood up. They would do this to Cornel West if he stood up. They will do this to anybody who stands up against the establishment, just like they did to Edward Snowden, just like they're doing to Julian Assange. This is what the establishment does. And now people in New York who are actual businessmen don't want to do business in New York anymore because they're afraid if the establishment gets pissed off at them, they're going to do what they did to Trump to them. And so the governor of New York had to give a statement reassuring people that, no, we're just doing fake political prosecutions of Donald Trump. And here's how she said it.
Check this
out.
I
understand that the Trump ruling might make New York business people fearful, but this is really an extraordinarily unusual circumstance. Yeah, because the establishment, the military-industrial complex, wants to prosecute him and criminalize him so they can get their war money going. This is an extraordinary, unusual circumstance that the law-abiding, rule-following New Yorkers who are business people have nothing to worry about until you cross the establishment, which could happen at any moment. Just say that you don't like this prosecution, and they'll come after you.
You remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
They took that real... Now, it might look like some smelly hippies, but the business people took that so seriously that life went straight downhill after that.
That's right.
They
did.
You think they don't take this seriously?
That's right.
I was a big Occupy Wall Street fan. Actually,
so that's what the governor said, and this is very different. I like how she says this is a very it's an extraordinarily unusual. Yeah, it's different because we hate Trump, so you don't have to worry that we weaponize the law to go after a guy we don't like. We probably never do that again, as long as the establishment likes you.
Yeah. So it's like canceling has finally, you know. What's
That's
unusual about this is how
right?
clumsily and how obvious it is.
Color-wise.
It used to be not quite as, or maybe I
it's
could
got
just
that big
see it
fingerprint.
better. I don't know. Maybe I just don't the whole time. But I don't remember it being this
in it.
Openly.
It will never
it's just blatant right out in the open.
It'll never come off.
And so here's a guy, Kevin O'Leary, goes on CNN. I can't believe they brought him on because Kevin O'Leary, even when a scumbag like Kevin O'Leary is going to be on your side, I don't want to call him a scumbag.
I do. That's the guy that promoted FTX. Don't you
know
that?
My God. That's right. He said he would still do business with FTX guy.
And he crosses the line.
Oh, yeah. Look at that die clash in it, too.
That's how bad it is.
I think it should be appealed. He'll work hard. But I don't think this case is about Trump anymore at all. Because you heard the governor of New York come out yesterday and say, look, everybody, don't be scared about doing business in New York because the only people we prosecute are people like Donald Trump who don't behave well. That didn't go over very well with the investment community because we're all asking each other, who's next? Yep. This was a victimless crime. Nobody lost any money.
Yep.
And a judge out of nowhere put on a $355 million penalty. I mean,
past presidents, because they broke laws. You know, Barack Obama's a war criminal. Every president in my lifetime's a war criminal. George Bush ordered a torture program that was worldwide, and he didn't get prosecuted.
Barack Obama said it's better for everyone if we don't prosecute the torture
we did.
But this law, but I don't even believe he broke. By the way, I don't believe
he didn't break a law.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I think it's the regulations of banking,
it's
but
about
I don't really
the
know.
rule of law, Kurt. Okay, here we go.
Statements, insurance fraud, conspiracy, and all these different aspects of it. Those are actual crimes. I take it your point is that these should not have been prosecuted?
No, my point is there's never been a case like this in 75 years. Everything you just listed off is done by every real estate developer everywhere on earth in every city.
Yeah.
This has never, ever been prosecuted.
It's a solid
but here's
point,
the real
man.
point that people in New York should concern themselves with. You can put your money anywhere. I'm a real estate developer. Do you think there's a chance I would ever take a chance on New York again?
Yep.
New York is turning itself into a flyover state.
Uh-oh.
I have to build data centers now. I'm not going to go to New York. New York has power. It's got fiber optics. It's got Niagara Falls. But no, we're not even thinking about it. We're going to places that have the exact same thing, where we have rational governors that have never done this to investors. This is about New York and its people. If I were in New York today and I was living there, I would ask myself, maybe we should hire better management. Why is this happening to us? Why are we becoming a flyover state? Why are investors concerned about putting their money
he's right.
there?
New York is getting really hard to live in. I gotta tell you.
Those people also be saying, first of all,
expensive.
I do wonder how many people take issue with the idea that
how many
every
82s are in
investor
here?
is engaged
This
in
is somebody's
falsifying
collection?
business records, and every investor is engaged and what has been accused of
Gotta
Donald
be.
Trump and the Trump.
That's like
nice
saying
coins.
I think people take issue that every used car salesman actually tries to inflate the price of the car before he negotiates down. I think they give you the first fair price first off, but this is crazy.
Well, media people are very stupid, a lot of them, and they don't know anything about business.
So they just really want to be right.
She just heard that capitalism might be corrupt now. She can't believe it. And you should listen to this scumbag guy from Shark Tank, because people that are way into money, that's all they look at.
That's all.
Well, what is my investment? I can't even say it's bad to think that way, because why wouldn't you? If you know the state
your
can
business.
abuse the law to go after you,
That's
and
right.
you're already a scumbag because you work in real estate.
That's right. Real estate is the slimiest, one of the slimiest professions out there.
Now, by the way, all the rent might come down in New York because of this. I
Yeah,
swear to
that's
God,
true.
because all the foreign investment. That
Yes.
is
That's not a
artificially
bad
keeping
point.
it,
Let's do it.
Which, you know, that'd be a good thing for me if I lived in New York, but it wouldn't be good for New York having to pay for all these illegal aliens now.
They already have like something like a 42% unused
Oh, usually
occupancy.
pretty
on
good too.
business.
All right.
Dylan told me a while ago
Yeah,
how it
they're
works.
I find that when I'm in a
hurting
box-
Why'd the housing crash not affect rent here? And it
Things go in phases. So like if you get into some good coins, you kind of stay in some good coins for a little bit, and you know. Yeah.
I've never falsified my
Let's
business
go.
records.
Oh
I
my
know what a
God.
square foot looks like. I know what I can.
What? But it's weird you
Yeah, but
didn't
you're-
find one of those people.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird she
Are
didn't
you
find
a
a successful real
multi-millionaire?
estate person who said, I never did what Trump did?
No, I'm sure
if
they
they,
all hold up in court.
because if
that
they
they're,
could, they would have brought them in.
What is
So
that?
why wouldn't you bring them in? You bring in Kevin O'Leary. Here we go.
Ask for and what I have the money to support. So I wonder to what extent that really is true. But on the second point,
You're not a
wouldn't
multi-million
there
dollar
be many
real
companies
estate investor
who
woman.
would not want to do business or loan money to people like yourself or investors if they know that they can get away with fraud and there's no recourse to protect them?
But nobody was injured in the case, dude.
Excuse me, what fraud? This is not about Trump anymore. When
I
you
know.
get a developer that builds a building,
This is silly.
and he says it's worth $400 million, and he wants to borrow $200 million from a bank, which happens every day, everywhere on Earth, including every American city. Every developer is an entrepreneur. They shine the light on their building and they say it's worth 400. The bank does its own due
Exactly.
diligence, as was done in this case, because they're very good at it. The banks are very good.
what
And
they
say,
do.
no, it's worth 300. We're only going to loan you 150 million. That haggling has gone on for decades. That's how it works. And then in
Welcome to
this
New
case,
York.
even the bank that was supposedly
That was
defrauded
82.
testified and said, we didn't lose anything. We want to do business with this guy again.
83?
We'd like to. But the judge said, no. Let's penalize this developer for $355 million. And if we're going to do that, let's penalize all the developers all across America. They've all done the same thing. All of them should go to jail, and we should stop building buildings. That's what the message is from New York.
He's
Even
not
the
wrong.
governor herself is concerned about what this looks like to investors all around the world. It's not just U.S.
Nice
domestic.
coin.
All
Well-
around the world, people are talking about what happened here. You really think people want to invest money in New York after this? How about we go
Well,
somewhere else?
I think there
about
are
to-
people who would. I don't want to cut you off, but
Well,
I
you
want
are.
to converse
Well,
with you
you
instead.
just did.
It's not I want to have a
You're
conversation,
you know what?
Kevin,
I respect
as opposed
you.
to just
I
having you
respect
tell
you because
me.
you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. You understand
Well-
exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, she's a scumbag.
I gotta tell you, I'm respectable for a number of reasons, Kevin O'Leary, but being a lawyer is one of those issues. But I'll
What?
tell you,
Wait,
when
what?
What now?
She's respectable for a number of
Well,
issues.
being a lawyer is one of them.
What is that?
What the hell did I just watch?
I don't know what that even means. But so Manhattan has gone from the financial hub of the Western world to being a national urine sample submitted for drug testing.
No
That's what
kidding.
this is.
I thought she was.
I haven't been
stupid,
down
but
there in
she's
a while,
actually
but-
lawyer, so that means she's knowingly.
She's on
lying.
purpose being stupid.
That's
yeah.
really
Yeah,
something.
of course she
Yeah,
is.
here we go.
when I hear your conversation, and I do want to converse with you about this point, I understand that there are legitimate concerns that were raised during the trial and will continue to be raised about
Another small
who
date.
the
Look
quote
at that.
unquote who is actually bringing the suit. It wasn't the banks who were saying that we as consumers or unsophisticated feel this way.
So what's the problem
But
then?
Letitia James, the Attorney General, and I know you want to expand beyond Trump, has suggested, well, it's about making the playing field level for those who are not the major and
No.
billionaire
Yeah.
investors, but for those
Forget
who are
everybody
supposed
else that's
to
on
put
Trump's level
business
out.
records out there, want
Come
to
on.
get a loan. The idea of making sure that they have to have the same true statements included as those who have a lot more money. Is there any weight to that for you?
Well, I ask you, who lost money? And I'll make it even clearer. You and I, we're developing a data center together. And I say to you, we can go to New York, where this just happened. It's your money now. You're now an investor, and you're taking risk. You're an entrepreneur with me, right beside me. We're together on the deal. Or I can show you Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia, where the governors actually ran businesses. Let's go there, where this never happened before.
Lower taxes.
They have power. They have permits. They've got legislation that's supportive of entrepreneurship. Why would we go to New York? Why take the risk? My only point is, did we just diminish the great state of New York and the great people of New York?
Yes.
And shouldn't they ask for better
Thank you.
management so they don't
We are
become
okay,
a
some of
flyover
us.
state?
And the answer is she knows that it's true what he's saying.
Yes.
She does know,
Good playing dumb,
It's
though.
a nice
guys.
but
point.
she is playing dumb.
She's a
New
good
York
dumb
has the
player.
highest taxes in the country, the worst regulatory environment, and it's incredibly mismanaged. And I'm pointing out
this
now, on top of that,
boy here?
you get this insanity, a victimless crime. And forget about Trump. It's not about Trump. I don't care about Trump in this. I care about America, and I care about entrepreneurship, and I care about democracy and the
Kind of want to keep that
fairness.
one. Just to
The
keep it.
judicial system is now being criticized. People are asking themselves, the bar of New York, is this judge rational to charge $355 million in a case where no one lost any money? Is that good for the people of New York? Shouldn't the people of New York wake up to this and say, what's happening to us? Why is this
I hope
becoming
so.
perverse? Why are we the focus of this injustice? And I have nothing to do with Trump. I'm not
Keep burying
supporting
their
Trump.
heads
I'm
in the
supporting
sand.
American entrepreneurship. And
Same.
New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's what's happening.
And so now they're not going to
Good
get the business
explanation.
investment that he's actually talking about. He actually knows what he's talking about in that. First of all, try to
course he
get
does.
another Shark Tank in New York. That's not going to happen. But
Well,
second
yeah.
of all, New York desperately needs that kind of money investment because where else they didn't get their money to give to build community centers for migrants?
Yeah,
Taxes.
they've got a flood of them now.
Yes.
The only reason New York can get away with this bullshit is because a bunch of rich people would just mindlessly invest their money in there because it's New York.
Right.
I mean, how do you manage to pull that off where the rich dickheads that support your stupidity, you chase them out of your state?
Yeah.
They're utterly chased out now. Kevin O'Leary, again, a guy that would work with Sam Bankman-Fried again, won't touch New York.
Won't touch New York.
Wow.
So let's make this another clip because I want to show you this now. Stephen Colbert used to be a comedy hero. First of all, he looks like someone beat the shit out of him. Oh, but let me start over because I swore. Can't swear in the first 15 or 30 seconds on YouTube.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, good.
Stephen Colbert does not look good. He's not looking good. But that's beside the point. What I couldn't care less about how he looks. What I really care about is the kind of person he's revealed that he is.
Do you remember back in the day
Ew.
when he was about to
Throwing
get
that
his
one out.
job and a chick named Suey Park started cancel Colbert?
Yes.
And we all spat at her, but she was right.
Yes, she was right.
She canceled Colbert.
So we just did a segment about how
I did
the prosecution
order
of Donald Trump
and win.
is the weaponization of the legal system against
On
the
eBay.
establishment's
I
political
got a West
opponent.
Point quarter for.
Now, the donor class hates Donald Trump in the
Like $10
Republican and the Democratic Party, which is why this is being allowed to happen.
Pretty nice.
The Republican Party, this establishment doesn't want
How
Donald
about
Trump,
that?
and neither does the Democrat Party. And you know why?
be
Because
75
he won't
privy.
do the wars that they want. That's the only reason. That's it. That's the only. That's
It's
all
a
it
clean
takes.
quarter. It's nice.
All the other stuff he did what they wanted. He did all the
Right.
regulations. They took them away. He gave a $1 trillion
that one I
tax
might
cut to
actually
the
get
richest
graded. I have
people.
some really nice
He
ones. I
took
gotta
the
tell
oil
you.
in Venezuela. He wanted in Syria.
Some of those graded ones are
he pushed the
pretty
vaccine.
pricey right now.
He bombed Syria.
He
Free Zakaria. He wanted
he didn't really bomb Syria. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Why they say tonight he was the president?
Well, because he bombed some air. They thought he bombed Syria. He bombed an airstrip.
Oh,
He didn't
bomb
kill.
it out?
He didn't bomb kill. Yeah.
Well, he
And then
did.
he put a.
I
And
think
then
I'm
he
gonna open a
wouldn't
couple
fund
more
the
of these.
Ukraine
They're
war
just
the way they
absolutely
wanted.
beautiful.
So and that's why they impeached him. They impeached him for putting a pause on the funding to the Ukraine war.
Yeah,
so the
this is
main
true.
I
reason to
can't
vote for
forgive
the main reason for voting for Donald Trump is now an impeachable offense. And so,
good thing about him.
No.
So Stephen Colbert, since Donald Trump has become president, has gone on a comedy strike. He's not doing comedy anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show it to you right here. Oh, instead of being upset that they're bastardizing the legal system and weaponizing it against their political enemies,
which I think
he's
is
cheering
very
us
wrong.
on, and he's trying to get you scared that they're not prosecuting the former president enough. They didn't prosecute George Bush and Dick Cheney. They didn't prosecute those guys.
It's a
But
nice
they were good because
misalignment,
they were at least
maybe.
establishment.
I'll hang on to it.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal.
What's wrong with
No
him?
other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts.
I wonder why that is, Stephen.
Wait, whose side is he on here?
Right?
It isn't normal. You're right.
It isn't. That isn't normal. This is not we're not following the norms.
Hey, you know what else isn't normal? Having an obviously senile guy in charge.
That's right.
And all of us sit and watch videos, and we all know. And Jon Stewart, God bless him, still has enough comedian in him to point it out and gets viciously attacked by like some kind of mind control.
So to make up
slave.
for it,
Yeah.
he had to go after Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
By defending another Nazi. Yeah. So Jon Stewart can't stop defending Nazis.
Nice looking 19.
Well, there we go. He's not anymore. But if that was an American guy who once held the views Navalny did, they would never forgive him or let it be bygones.
They cancel you for a tweet you did 15 years ago. Are you kidding me?
They fired Gina Carano for asking people to stop acting like Nazis, and they said she was belittling the Holocaust.
Yeah. So let's watch this. And by the way, you know Stephen Colbert's serious because he took his glasses off.
This is a glasses off moment for Stephen Colbert.
It's a glasses off moment.
And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things.
No one.
We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the
everybody does. Most sober people doubt that he did anything wrong. I just showed a segment, a video in my other segment, where Kevin O'Leary, a guy who's famous for being on Shark Tank and being a famous businessman, said this is crazy. That there was no crime. This is called capitalism in business. It's like when you go in to buy a car, the car salesman goes high, you go low, and you meet in the middle. The bank even said they loved the deal they got with Trump.
There's no fraud.
They're supposed to. No, there's no fraud.
There's no injured party.
The bank said we got a great deal. We made a lot of money. We'd like to do business with Trump again.
You know, in a fraud, usually someone has their money stolen.
That's right.
Right.
Not you don't make money for the person. So this is Stephen Colbert, just like he did with the vaccine and COVID.
Oh,
he's going complete establishment shill. Whoever signs his paycheck, that's what this is. And he knows who his audience is.
That's kind of cool.
And by the way, he teaches Sunday school. And some people say that's what pedophiles do. And I'm not saying that Stephen Colbert's a pedophile.
Yeah.
I'm saying that he has the character of one.
I don't believe he could overpower a child.
of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race. I know.
No,
I know how.
First of all, that's not how the media is covering it. They're covering it just as crazy as you are right now.
Yeah, it's just nobody cares now at this point because it's that bad.
And this guy who's a shield for Pfizer. By the way, here at Pfizer, we've come up with a way to blend two people you love into your most favorite person of all time. We took Stephen Colbert and surgically inserted Keith Olbermann's DNA, creating Colberman. That's right. Everything you want in a panicking shit lib. Now with an extra feature, the whining, stressed-out urgency of Rob Reiner added in for good measure. And that's what this is. You want to watch it without me stopping? Let's watch.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race. I know how.
I used to love Stephen Colbert.
Almost everybody I talk to doubts this. I don't know who. So of course he doesn't.
Eugene Garrel's real reliable,
right?
It's just wild that it's become
thing.
so.
He's the president of the United States. The president decides what's classified and what isn't.
What is the law say? You got to store it next to your sweet cherry Corvette?
Yeah. So apparently, if you're like Joe Biden and you take classified documents and you put it in your garage next to your Corvette, that's okay.
You know, I had a friend say, because I was like, well, what?
This is crazy, though, right? I mean, can you believe?
He has no one in his look. He's not funny. So his writers, imagine the writer. I know everybody thinks these guys are like comedians, but they're really just hollow vehicles that a writer puts jokes into.
Yes.
And Colbert's an actor, so he was funny on like Stranger with Candy, really funny because it was funny writing. If you give him good jokes, but he's not taking good jokes, now this is the real Steven.
Yeah.
The awful
This
actor.
is the real Steven.
And this is what all that stupid cancel bullshit did. They filtered out anyone that could tell you anything opposite from your bubble. In New York, every time Russ was here, we were both. New York is dumber. I can't believe it's dumber than LA by a mile. By a mile, okay? I never thought I would say that. It's the most, and that's because they pushed out everybody that isn't very rich or poor. There's no middle in New York whatsoever.
Yeah, he's right about that.
So all these rich people could just sit like Bill Maher. You know, Bill Maher doesn't know there's a problem.
Yeah.
Here.
He thinks the economy's great. We won COVID.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Bill Mahers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But without the,
good point.
The comedy to not be woke.
And it's funny, like you know how
I mean, I'm still
I'm not
here.
comparing myself to Lenny Bruce, but it makes me feel good that there are theaters, and especially in shitlib heaven Brooklyn, that won't book me. People, theaters, I sold out their theater 3-4 times before.
That's cool.
They won't even return my email now because of my politics. Because
Badge
they're on
of
the
honor.
wrong side of history.
I
was just at a
that sucks because they really care about that a lot. I've heard people bring right side of, like, that's like liberal heaven, I guess, the right side of history.
Yeah,
that's where you go when you die.
Yeah.
To the good part
But
of
they're on the wrong side of history. They're on the wrong side of Julian Assange. They're on the wrong side of lockdowns. They're on the wrong side of mandating experimental medical
More good
treatments.
ones coming in.
They're on the wrong side of authoritarianism.
Well,
they're on the wrong side of war. They're on the wrong side of war.
That's why they have to win, because
so those are the shit
deep down,
yeah.
they know that. They're not on the right side of history unless they win, because that's who writes history.
That's right. And so, like, we just came back from a shithole of a place called Washington Hall in Seattle. What a shithole. And the people who run it are demented fucking criminals.
Ouch.
In Seattle, of all places?
Yeah, in Seattle. Yes.
Where they did have an insurrection. Remember somebody took over
you know
a
what they
section
did?
of it?
You know what they did? You want to hear a real crime?
Okay.
They have 200 seats in their theater. You know how many
That's
tickets they sold?
definitely,
530
damage.
for my show.
Okay.
So people showed up and they didn't have seats for them.
They did like a plane, like an airline?
They did, and so they made people stand around the sides of the room and upstairs in the balcony and stand.
Ouch.
And stand. And I said, "What are you doing?" They go, "Well, let's first come first." First of all, they all were wearing masks.
Oh, no.
They're all wearing masks.
They all got a
Washington
face
Hall.
burqa on?
Don't ever go to Washington Hall in Seattle. That'd be my advice. Those people are demented maniacs. The worst things about liberalism are the people who are at Washington Hall in Seattle.
Yeah, that's their Mad Max
They,
phase.
you know what they referred to? They hated that. So most of my shows on the road, people put tables up for Julian Assange outside, and they give out flyers and they take people's names and stuff. They hated those people. The people who ran Washington Hall hated the Julian Assange people. They called them people who are sticking up for a hacker. They called him a hacker. That's what they said. They called Julian Assange a hacker.
Of a strike through.
Even
There's
shitlibs
a
at wait a
famous
minute.
strike
Even
through in that
shitlibs at
area.
MSNBC
So.
are sticking up for Julian Assange. Except that's how bad the people at
That's a
Washington
saver.
Hall in Seattle are.
keeper.
They call him a hack. They want him in prison, and they think they're on the right side of history as they walk around with their masks in 2024 and hate everything that's real. Why don't you just put on your mask? I'm not willing to accept that everything I've been told is a lie, because that's what those are the people.
Dang,
so those
Jimmy.
are the people we're dealing with. So I
Since
just want
when
to give
is-
everybody
yeah.
a heads up in Seattle. Those people who run Washington Hall, criminal. They sold 530 tickets. There was only 200 seats. It says it on their website. There's only 200 seats.
Oh, but Jimmy, only
Wow.
15
That's
to
slimy.
20% don't show up at Seattle shows.
That's what they told me.
You're still overshooting it.
You still had 200 Elks people there who didn't get a seat.
Didn't Trump get a
And now-
prosecution for this kind of
So
fraud?
now, and I got on
Overestimating?
stage and I told people,
Good
you
call.
should sue this place.
Yeah.
You should sue this place for your money back. And so I
Damn.
hope people are.
But wait, since when is Seattle like supposed?
I always had great
Good
time
for you,
in Seattle.
Jimmy.
But since when would they be?
I went to the Triple Door. It's a great place.
But when would they be anti-hacking? I've never heard of all the places.
Of all the places that would be against
Seattle.
First of all, Julian Assange's not a hacker. He got that information from Chelsea Manning.
Yeah.
Chelsea Manning was the one who got that
A
information.
trans woman, by the way.
And then a trans woman, and then gave it to Julian Assange. So it's very much like it's not even as bad as the Pentagon Papers, because And Daniel Ellsberg was actually an insider who did.
Yeah, right.
And you never anyway. So that's the kind of shit that's happening.
Wow.
I just wanted to say that.
Well,
I wanted to get that out there.
They should. I mean, Seattle's kind of filthy now. You might.
These are getting a little dirty now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and what's happened to Stephen Colbert? Wow.
It's sad.
Wow.
It's a good 14, by the way. Look at that.
We all know it. I've known it ever since I was in comedy. The most like herd mentality cows.
Are improv people?
We're improv people because improv lessons are expensive, and it's usually some dipshit rich kid, especially in Brooklyn. And so they don't have the mentality of any kind of independence or business or whatever. I mean, they inherit a lot, and that's where you get. That's when all this like comedy is not diverse. I'm like, yes, in your very wealthy white circles of improv, I'm sure it's not. In every other kind of comedy, it's not like that.
All right, we're going to go to Rumble now. So everybody go to Rumble.
Oh, shoot.
And we're going to speak freely. And see you over at Rumble.
All right, guys. I'm going to follow them over there. I can't show this on YouTube.
You can go to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, the link.
So.
Or you can just go to Rumble and look up the Jimmy Dore Show. We'll be right back in just a few minutes with some more show.
Grab this.
Hi, I'm Paul White, and I've been a professional wrestler for over 30 years. And I know every time I step in the ring, a concussion is possible.
All right. Turn that off. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do is maybe just go to a coin channel over here. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Probably, because I'm gonna keep looking at coins. Oh, I also wanted to say that this is a die clash. You can see the shield behind him, just barely. You can see the vertical lines, and those coincide with those lines right there. If it was any stronger down by the date in south of Liberty there, you would be able to see the banner. But, you know, it's not as strong. It's not overly strong. It's not overly weak. It just is. And, you know, I keep it. I might sell a whole bunch of Die Clash coins as a, you know, as a lot. I'm not sure. I don't think they're overly valuable unless they're nice ones. So if I find the error, I save it. And, you know, later on I'll go through them all, error by error, and keep some and don't keep the others. Sort them. I don't know what happened. These coins were really nice, and that does happen sometimes in bunches like that. You'll get a you know, one or two rolls that aren't like the others. Yeah. My tummy is a rumble. Here's some nice ones coming up, I believe. Something to. Boy, somebody posted something online earlier about some double die from the 60s. And it was almost impossible to see. I just don't know how this guy saw this thing. Crazy. There's another 2023. Looking for the extra V. Not seeing it. It should be really obvious. Most of the time I look at them and I see like a speck or a carbon spot and I think it's the V, and then I look at it for 2 minutes. Trying to convince myself it really isn't that. So that's fun. 92 close AM. Let's go. Damn. One of these times that's going to work. There are things on the 88s too. There's an 88 with an 89 reverse. I'm not entirely positive. It has to do with the FG. I think they all have wide AM. And then FG is, I think it's the G. It has to do with the G, how large the part, oh look at that. Misaligned boy. Kind of ugly though. Yeah, so that's how you know what you have on the 88 with the 89 reverse. I don't think I've ever found one. So you'll see me take these things. Hold on. Oops. Okay. You'll see me do this. And I'm looking for clash dies when I do that. I'm looking for those vertical lines under the nose. Huh. Look at that beauty. Oh, I keep forgetting you can't hear what I'm hearing. I have Jimmy on in the background, but he's on Rumble, so it's not gonna, it's not gonna sound good on YouTube, sadly. Oh boy, check. Oh, man, you can't hear this. He's talking about the truckers boycotting New York City because of the Trump ruling, the 300 million or whatever. Now these truckers are saying they're gonna boycott goods in New York City. They're not gonna be trucking them in. That's crazy. That could actually cause some chaos. Oh, that's cool. Excuse me. On CNN, I didn't know that. There's a nice coin. talking about Anthony Bourdain. These coins have gone to shit, so I'm gonna end the stream. After a short 40-minute stream. How about that? These are going to garbage. So, okay. Guys, have a great night, and thank you for hanging out. Ciao.